Out there, you will make it TV followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to another live segment with your favorite audio host, Arthur Teddy Sherry, always bringing insightful topics, inspirational quotes, thoughtful messages that we can digest to help us stay healthy spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Hit that like button. We appreciate your support and we hope that you're having a blessed, safe, and happy weekend so far. Today's date marks May 31st, 2025, and we all are blessed to see another one. And in all that we see the changes that unfold in our laws and of the land. We notice how not too long ago, I might share that segment in my news feed. That's why I do encourage you guys to subscribe. You do that by simply clicking that gold subscribe bell, and it will notify you from then on. Once you become a subscriber, which is actually absolutely free, it will notify you every time we go live or we post new content. Let me make this announcement. Sometimes you guys are not always getting the notifications when we are posting content. You're not crazy. It's not your channel. It's not your phone. It's not your device. Um, so sometimes we're just going ahead and forewarning you, even if you subscribe, sometimes it doesn't hurt to come back and check on the page. You might come back and check a week later, 2 weeks later, like, oh, they posted new content. She had some more inspirational quotes or live segments that I didn't see. So you do want to check back every now and then, and we none of us have time to just double check that with all of our uh, subscriptions on YouTube, really. But people should. They don't because it's free to subscribe on this platform, but some platforms you pay. Okay, and so those ones that the people are paying to be subscribers, they definitely would be checking back more often to see if they're actually getting the posted to the subscriptions. You see what I'm saying? But when they're free subscribers, or free subscriptions, nobody really check that too much. I mean, unless it just cross your mind. So sometimes it don't hurt to do that with our favorite channels, because many of us have been saying it. Like we don't always get notifications to about every channel we're subscribed to. Yet this is what helped people to remain monetized. How many literally in quantity subscribers they have. So that's another topic for another day, but it doesn't hurt to your favorite channels. Like I said, just check in sometimes. Like, make sure you're following up because updates does steadily happen, and you might not always immediately get the notification. But I was just telling those that might not know. When you do click the bell, that's the purpose of that. It's absolutely free unless you see otherwise, because some people do have certain private subscription groups you can't subscribe to at this time. I don't plan to have it, or in the future I don't have. I mean, it won't hurt to have like private groups and stuff later, but I don't know. Anything we talk about, we can be open right here. I always leave some inquiry information where people can email us if they like, if they want to. So this topic today, though, y'all don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. But the state of Texas was proposing, I don't know, they laying something out on the table where the Ten Commandments, it might be a law here soon for them to have them displayed in the classrooms in public schools. So anything I state on my stream today, I always say this for the record, it's just my opinions, viewpoints, and reaction to trending news. Okay, that's what I like to do because I think out loud to myself anyway. Like literally talk out loud when I'm reading certain articles or listening to videos. I don't just do that to movies where you almost find yourself like screaming at the characters like you're in the movie. I do that with news too. Like what, this, that, whatever else, because some stuff is shocking. But I don't know my reaction to this topic. Like I don't know why people would be now, shocked, I understand, but why? Because it's already talking about certain groups trying to stand up and impose that, have that completely taken down. They don't like it. Which I was like, because the only other state I had heard doing that before was Louisiana, right? So I ran here for this topic because I was already like, well, let me look more into it because I personally do not. It's just opinions and reactions over here at You Will Make It TV and inspirational topics, but I don't see a problem with the Ten Commandments being displayed. I think people's problem is that they have to. That it's gonna be, it could be rolled out to where they are forced to show this in their classrooms if they continue to teach. What do y'all think about that? I mean, I hope we don't see people end up walking away. People have walked away from all kind of jobs lately, but you don't want to see the teachers walking away. I mean, this is where I'm being like a realist, because people look at it like that's like pushing religion on the kids. But is it really? The things that are in the Ten Commandments are also already laws of the land. That's why I'm not mocking anybody. I'm just saying that's my opinion. If I were to talk to anybody about it, as an American or a native Texan myself, that don't mean a person lived there, always lived there all the time. That's a great thing to hear. Uh, Now that's people opinions. They just don't want it, like they said, like forced on them. Like let it be the teacher's choice, I guess. It's how they feeling. Let it be the teacher's choice if they wanna. But teachers, this is my only point. Even with a little teaching experience myself, because people think teaching is just teaching. There's all kind of teachers. You got tutors, you got after school, the detention teachers, the summer school teachers. There's all kind of teachers, man. But my thing is, y'all been some of the main ones out here talking about what you're going through in the classrooms with the kids. Even if they don't tell us, they're talking about it. But they are telling us. They've been talking about these stories on TikTok. More, we see it more just because of the new social media, and people share their stories. That's just kind of what they do on TikTok. So, but anyways, they had no problem sharing how much problems they feel like they're having in the classrooms with the students now. Not saying all of them, because every day ain't gonna be perfect. I don't care. Even when it's with your own kids, like you don't have to be a teacher to know that. That's just my opinion. You don't have to be a teacher to know that every day is not gonna be 100% a-okay perfect just because you have a group of kids that you're responsible for. So I'm not saying they all have been struggling, because we know that there are levels to this. You talk about if all the kids are where they need to be educationally on the levels that they're supposed to be, that's where this becomes a deeper. People is like, why would y'all be more worried about what they believe in versus what they're learning? Well, maybe that's the state's point. Both of them are important. Their education, just as important as science is. People do need to know that thou shalt not kill. Like, I don't see the issue with it. It's already a law over here. And I don't think now I know the Ten Commandments didn't have nothing to do with American law at the time that it was, but I'm just saying American law does and always have is supposed to stand behind some of its principles. The very Ten Commandments, like they have always apparently agreed with some of them, if not all 10, or if all not, because there's supposed to be more than 10 commandments, as the story goes. But when we talk about the significant, and them just saying, if they do say, yeah, the 10 got to go in there, what's wrong with that? Everybody love preaching that it starts at home and it's the home training. Maybe the schools are trying to help the parents out here, because if you believe every parent is just out here, maybe breaking down the laws of the land, this is how I'm putting it, kind of like integrating it. If you have to take it to that level, like, look, sweetie, look at the Ten Commandments. Because, yeah, the very country you live in, some of their laws surround, I ain't gonna say like are encouraged by the Ten Commandments, but, they say the same thing a little bit. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Okay, how you gonna have all these people complaining about the school system, And then when they finally propose something different, actually inspirational. Everybody know the Ten Commandments wasn't created to hurt people. If you don't know, here's a slight reminder. That's the point. Those laws are laid there for their reasons. That's what people want to be more. This is not like American law, the Ten Commandments, where you can say, "Well, I don't like commandment number 2. Let's get together and vote and change it." That's not how the Ten Commandments work. But we'll notice, like spiritually, literally, mentally, with some people, it's like they really try this. They try to find, just like with the law, they try to find ways to get around the Ten Commandments, and that's just not the same. It's serious, but it's not the same. You can't sit there and get together with the people and come to a city meeting and say, "I want to change commandment number 8," whether they put it in the schools or not. They just don't. They just are showing. We're seeing how people really are about this. The Ten Commandments themselves. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Like, this is not about them putting them in the schools. This is about people really don't care for you teaching their kids the Ten Commandments. That's what they're saying. I was just saying, even if you're not a religious person, there's nothing wrong with your child learning the educational history of where those came from. That has nothing to do with race or anything. It ain't even religious if you look at it. You in the schools, I would just encourage, they do teach it as a real historical thing. Moses, there's proof in museums and everywhere that Moses really existed. That these lands he walked on, as the story tell, are really real. How I'm saying it can be used in an educational way to also teach about other cultures. Nobody is just at school learning about religion. They go home and say, "Yep, I'm this religion today." Like, nobody has to worry about that. It's not a big deal that they're, let them put it. That's what I'm saying. People go to school for theology, different things to study religion and culture. People, they've been studying this. Like, what's wrong with your kids seeing this in the classroom? Some classrooms already have flags from all over the world in there. Y'all should check out y'all kids' classroom sometimes. Like, they do have meet the teacher night usually before the beginning of school. Even at college, they have what's that called? Like in the summers, where you can come in there like an orientation. Most times it's for the freshmen, because you know they're gonna need it coming straight into college. It's like where you can get to know the classrooms, you can explore the campus and see what's actually in there. Because to me, what hangs on the walls do matter. If society needs to hear it from a experienced student, it is beautiful to walk into school. Like, what's hanging and being displayed is everything, especially when you first walk through the doors. You don't just want it to be the mascot and your school motto. Come on, man. This is what we all used to. Y'all, who remember far back some of y'all schools y'all had in the 70s, 60s, and 50s? It mattered to people. They had school alma maters and songs that the school knew. If you went there for 30 years, 50 years, happy birthday. Shout out to the birthday ladies and gents and babies all over the world today. All the summer babies, you know what I mean? I feel like y'all have the best birthdays because it is in the summer. If you want to really turn up and celebrate, and you can. It's just a great time of season. It's beautiful outside. The sun is shining. I don't have a summer birthday though, so and none of my kids even have summer birthdays. Spring birthdays are beautiful, I guess, but it's nothing like summer. It's summer break right now, but I'm saying you can get familiar with the classroom. Some of them, one I saw, it had flags all over it, like every world culture flag. Even I was appalled as an adult, like, to see those flags. You can sit at home on Google these days and see the world flags. You see what I'm saying? But when it's displayed, we're talking about the Ten Commandments being displayed. If this is passed, how it will be displayed in the classrooms. Parents, yes, be concerned about what your kids are seeing and learning at school, but don't just start that when they talking about putting the Ten Commandments up there. That would be beautiful to walk in and see. Not just the school alma mater, the Pledge of Allegiance. That is historical things. Don't get me wrong. It's a part of history in this country. That's why you see it in schools. But so is the Ten Commandments too, though. That's kind of like pushing it under the rug anyway, to not have it hanging in the schools openly. Like, hey, maybe some people feel like it's just going too far and it would open up other cans of worms. And now you got to more listen up to people that have these, who stand on these principles and morals in life, even as students. You have to kind of apply that in the classroom. So maybe they're not saying nothing more at this time. It's just, hey, display. Listen to that word. Do we know what display means? They have to display them in the classrooms. I had did a follow up about the Louisiana thing, right? I found something very interesting too, because that didn't even end up. Let me see. It says a similar law in Louisiana was to take effect in 2025, but was blocked by a U.S. District Court ruling. Listen to that. So sometimes it's just news, because even if it's proposed or if it's about to be pushed to the governor or somebody for this to be possibly pushed, possibly to go into effect, that can make the news too sometimes, because it depends on what it is, what it is in the bill. I like to break this down sometimes. People panic, already be giving their opinions. Like, calm down, man. It's not a big deal. Texas is a Ten Commandments is in that state of all states. Like in the South, to me, uh, religion in the Bible is. It doesn't matter who it offends. It's a part of the state's history. It just is. And don't get to talking about the Constitution. And that's why I said, why would people have a problem with the Ten Commandments? Because it says, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit false witness. And that's really sad that I don't know them by heart, but that don't mean a person don't know them or never heard it. That means if I hear all 10 right now, they're going to be very familiar. You could probably speak the first 3 words and I'm going to know the rest. That's what I mean, but that don't mean you know something by verbatim. I know that I've heard thou shalt not kill before, thou shalt not steal before. But how many of our new generation youth is even hearing this anymore, anywhere, or seeing it? We gotta agree that's not just a common thing that's being pushed in your face everywhere you go no more. Literally, the Ten Commandments. No, you don't just walk in the grocery stores and go to Walmart and see. You might see it on some home decor in the home decor section, which I do appreciate that with retail. They try to have things for people that are believers too, because the Ten Commandments means more to some people. But I said, even if it doesn't mean more, here's a brighter perspective. A lot of the things in the Ten Commandments is actual laws you're supposed to be following anyway. That's it. But maybe it helped people to look at it like, well, look at how ancient these commandments. What is a commandment? What is that? Are we teaching our kids that? You want them to understand what a commandment is when you tell them. But yeah, that's what some of them are saying. Maybe we don't want you forcing the principles of God and Christ consciousness in our children at this time. In our, because maybe that would mean on collegiate levels too. And that is a time you need faith. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in, know yourself. Yep, right when you're entering college, even sophomore year to year after. People have gone through a lot of life awakening experience just as at college level. Life is teaching them a lot. How to save, how to budget, how to be moderate with things. Even when you don't have kids yet, you're just studying so you can get prepared for life. But yeah, let me go back to that I was reading. That law did not, let's see, it is currently before a U.S. Fifth Circuit Appeals Court. That law did not require school districts to fund the posters with taxpayer money SB 10 allows such an expense but doesn't require it. The result in either case is the same. You have children being religiously coerced in schools, and you have the government favoring a very specific religious translation above all others. That's their argument here in Louisiana, which is, we're going to talk about that. So I would say the outcome is unconstitutional in either way. I feel like even in that state too, like what's wrong with the Ten Commandments being, at least they got it as far as on the table and proposed, because maybe this is already on some people's minds. You've tried everything else. You got alternative schools, juvenile detention centers, children hospitals. These are real places. Children mental health hospitals, children shelters that currently probably do not hang the Ten Commandments on the regular. Let's say at least the past 20 years. Places like this don't. You might see them at a homeless shelter. You might. That's what I'm saying. You might, but it's not just a open, big, like, oh, let's give our country back, because people feel that coming. You're either giving yourselves to God or you're not, and people have no problem showing that everybody has been not on that agenda, which is fine to me. But I'm like, either way, you don't try to force people a mass way just because that's what you choose. I was talking about that on another stream, how I feel like people just be messing up stuff. Like, you have all the abundance that already, it don't just be a law with some things. People act like it's just a law. Like, you have all these other abundant opportunities that surround you. It's not just that law or that commandment, right? But in all your self-will and freedoms, you have the commandments. Some people just, to me, whether it's spiritually speaking or out here in the natural world, they don't want to, which is an interesting perspective. They don't want to submit to laws, and they show it. They want to find a decreased avenue way around they already do that with laws, so you know they doing it with the commandments. Like, maybe they say, well, if I just don't believe in this or why would they have it in an ancient box of ancient artifacts if it didn't mean anything? Like, the actual tablets that the commandments were supposedly written on. What y'all think about that? They supposedly really have those in an actual, some type of special sacred box, and people think this is a game. That's okay. That's okay. That's just my opinion. This is not opinionated matter. It's whether you hang them or not. It shows us where people are, if you display them in public schools or not, or if we believe in this. Maybe some of the things that are surrounding the education department right now are like warning signs of them like blowing the horn, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Yes, the teachers, it's the government, it's all of this too, but in the homes and the parents, what's going on? I was just saying it's not fair to solely blame it on homes and the parents, when you have budgets being cut to the school shootings, different stuff that's already not perfect. How can you sit there and put all of that on the parents' shoulders? Like, they're already the taxpayers too. At the same time, they never want to discuss that. They do want to see the parents active. I'm saying that as a teacher from experience. Like, even if my kids in school, they want to see the parents are active and communicative with the staff on their children's behalf. They do like seeing that when it comes to their education. Anyway, if you have a student that's Muslim, it probably makes sense. If you finna have this student all year get comfortable, you're probably finna learn a little more, because we have like discrimination protection laws here. And look how people just try to abuse that, man. Because how many immigrants do you see just stand up and like, not just immigrants, but discrimination is just not in modern day society time. Like discrimination cases, you don't see them as much. It might be more criminal stuff, criminal type cases. Let's be honest, that we see out here now. Like you don't just see that every day. Like a whole big huge discrimination case. It make you think of going back to Jim Crow, civil rights days or something. Oregon Salem witch trial days or something. Like who is out here still trying to still overstep the boundaries of discrimination laws and boundaries, man. Because the Ten Commandments already kind of talk about that. They just want to have a problem with authority that surrounds the bountifulness, that surrounds the abundance, that surrounds the plenteous options and opportunities people have from the day they're born, unless there's a different circumstance. You now have been gifted life, and you have, according to your knowledge, according to the environment, the access of resources, you have opportunity to go the path that you wish. Maybe the Ten Commandments have helped keep certain people grounded in life. Like, that's what they're saying. What does it help to implant those, or even first learn about them in a historical way in your mid 30s or 40s? Why not first hear about them? If school is the only place you had to, not everybody at home is going to church or some religious or seeing the Ten Commandments on TV these days. So it's still history. Y'all can try to take it out all you want to. If people homeschool their kids, you can't say, well, they're trying to be a religious code and keep them stuck in religion at home. No, like, religion and culture is still a part of history. Ain't no way. What y'all trying to do, cross that out of the history? It's fine if you don't want to mention it in the public schools, but at home you can't stop people from teaching their kids about culture and different culture practices. Practicing it and learning about studying something is two different things. We know a med student might practice and study a certain medicine. But that just needed to be said to me for the sake of the stream real quick. Like, studying and practicing something, if you don't get nothing else out of what Arthur Tedescherry said on the stream today, are two different things. Study is like to really observe and maybe even have conclusions to what you're observing, like studying it. You have a time that you're watching it, you're studying something. To actually practice something is a level above study. What do you mean? And why don't people understand this? If you practice a religion, that's a level, wouldn't you say, separate or above? If you study it, if you practice it, that's a level above studying it, that religion or that culture practice. See, you can study a practice, it gets this deep. You can study a practice and still not be practicing. What do you mean? You're still studying that practice. The next step just would be, or it wouldn't be uncommon, like usually I would say, but there's different reasons, just like for scientists and theorists, and that people study things. But practice is always going to be a level above studying. You are now practicing whatever you were studying. Like, you're practicing that. That's a physical act. So is studying, but practicing it is like actually indulging yourself and putting these tools together that you just studied. Somebody needs to break this down. You just put all that together, you just study, and now that's a practice. They have law practice, they have medical practice, they have all these different practices. Have we not noticed that? That's because practice is a level above study. This applies the same way with religion. Why would that be the same with any other practice, and then with religion, people don't understand that? Studying a religion and practicing a religion, studying a culture and practicing a culture's ways is two different things. Period. So I've never had an issue. I mean, some people even have private studies. What you got to do? Go down to the brim and get licensed just to be private? Private is anything that's kept, KEPT, okay? Like kept in a way, private don't always mean secret. Like to me, private and secret is two different things too. Private is more of a whole choice. There's no choice all the time with secrets. Like, I don't know, like private is a whole invoked action. You have a private practice or a private business or a private consultations. People had to make me get this deep and think this deep about it, because society is just broken down into so many complexes now, and you still have to know who you are, you know. But yeah, just I think that's the main message I needed to get out, that people should just a good reminder, inspiration at this time. What you study and what you practice is two different things, and what you excel in is a whole nother level. Because we talked about study and practice, but what's the level above practice? Now you now you playing the game. Like you're a whole player. You practice. What's the level above player? You now it's what kind of player you are. Are you one of the best? Or are you just good? Or are you mediocre? Okay, so we learned 4 levels today. You got practice, you got study, then you got the player or the actual test taker because you've studied. And then you got what your level is. After you've practiced and studied and now you're in there, you got some experience. Now it's what level you are in it. Period. For now, I'll just leave this as part 1. I'll be back real soon, guys. I probably will come right back on with part 2 real quick. I gotta click off and do something, but we do appreciate y'all's support. Remember to like and subscribe, especially if you want to see a part 2 real quick. So I'm gonna post this one in the news feed really quick, and then I'll be back in about 10 minutes with part 2. Thank you guys for your support, and until next time.